Hello, my name is Manideep Tadikonda. Everyone would know me as Manny. Sorry, my voice is a bit coarse. I've been sick lately, but I'll try to keep up with my voice. And so today I'm going to present my information systems project management. Uh, uh, it's a go through of the project that's going to include all the requirements that a actual project needs to be having. Um, so as you can see, my project, to give a little bit of introduction to it, it's an web application where people can actually request for the blood donors and send them request so that the recipients can get their particular specific donors and find their blood as quickly as possible and a specific location, date, and time. Sorry about that. So let me talk more about this project before I get into the nitty gritty. This e-blood application is facilitates the blood donation processes by notifying the appropriate donors in the location area of the hospital in need of blood. The application will consist lists of pre-approved blood donors. Once the application receives a notification from the hospital, it notifies the donor of the blood donation and the collection location. The blood is then made available to the hospital in need, and that is how the process of the application works. The objective of this application would be like the blood donation process is more efficient and effective by decreasing the time it takes to collect the blood from the donors. Um, Moreover, it uses the latest database technology to keep an list of pre-approved donors, which reduces the process of having a hassle pre-test for the donors who which before each blood donation procedure. Um, sorry about that. There has been like several issues with the blood storage. So I want to talk about the current affairs and the situations that the hospitals are going through with the nowadays and how this application could help them. The project aim, yeah, I've talked about project aim. Now the current situation is like um, as hospitals face significant issues while facing blood storage, which may sometimes cost the life of the patients. The current procedures include calling the blood banks, which may or may not have a proper blood type available. This application was developed um, for the registration of the blood donors, to manage blood collection in different local centers and send alerts for urgent needs. This application, as we develop, we can see a cascading location over here that could cascade into a different locations with the country, state, and city. The locations that I've used is UK, India, United States. This application was developed for the registration of blood donors to manage blood collections. This application receives notifications from hospitals facing blood storage. The notification includes the amount and the blood type needed. The alerts are sent to the donor list, and responses are collected from the further analysis and collection. So there are many critical assumptions and constraints for this application, I could say. Experts in the field of hematology and pathology must support the proposed e-blood application as it aims to meet the needs of the efficient blood donation process. That would be one of the challenges in the project. For relatively small project, it may pay for itself within 3 months to reduce the operating costs and control the project budget. In addition, the application must be a platform independent, that it could also be on the mobile platforms or iOS or Windows or Androids, secure from the unauthorized users, and easy to navigate from the authorized donors, because there are many HIPAA regulations that involve in this project. So I would like to go into the project development itself. So this is I would like to explain my portfolio that would be useful and better explanation of this project. So this is a table of contents that are going to be in the portfolio. There's going to be selections, business cases, project charters, project management plans, the work WBS requirements, Gantt charts, network diagrams, the earned value managements, and risks. So these are all the topics that I'm going to talk now about this project. The business case and the introduction I've already explained to you. Getting into the project charter. So I made it as simple as possible. So it just begins with the project title, which is eBlood, and it has a start date as I selected the start dates of the course since the course started on 30th August, and it's approximately ending near November and December. So I thought that the project should be starting from and ending from the specific dates. We have selected as a budget for this project as 80,000. Since it is a small project, it doesn't need a lot of man work too. This would need some team members and some developers, some hardware and software. The funds for this project, which is included in the project charter, is the stakeholders I've selected as the Governor State, the financial department in the Governor State University. More funds are available if needed, and many costs for this project will be internal labor. So the objective is to spread awareness in the people and make blood donation as a norm, and since it saves a lot of lives too, this application would be really useful for the patients and the hospitals too. So success criteria: if we are able to launch the real-time working application in just a matter of 3 months of time, then we would be able to say it is a success, and we could think about the profits. Since it is a starter application and there is a lot of competition in the world outside, there could be a lot of there would be a lot of trouble in starting this application too, and it would be a lot of time. Like, I'm expecting to be a 1 year to get return profits from this project. The approaches that we can get is get permissions from the hospitals and get IT department support, have server support, sorry, get financial support from the sponsors after estimating the project cost. Talking about the project costs, let's get into the project cost estimates. So I have used the PERT analysis to do the cost estimates over here, and I've selected randomly using the Google web search and going through all the other projects that have been published on the net. I've assumed that it's going to take like 125 unit per dollars per hour uh, salary rates for the team members, and so that's 125 into 64 is 8,000 USD is the target salary for the particular team leader or a team member for this project. I haven't given any names for the particular names for the project team members because this is just a hypothetical and assumption project, and since there's only one team member, we can just assume that it's a team member one. And next, the items that we need uh, is interface design developer. So that wouldn't cost as much as team member, but it's gonna cost us 80 per hour, $80 per hour, which is according to the work breakdown structure, the days I have calculated with the PERT analysis, which is 250 unit cost. So 250 into 800 is 20,000 for the 20,000 USD for the interface design developer. The hardware, handheld devices, and the servers, these all contribute to 12,800 USD. The software, which is licensed software that we are going to use over here, is Visual Studio, which is going to be an enterprise version, and it would cost us for the 50 days of the work breakdown structure, and its unit cost is $100. This is not actual cost, but just on the basis of the internet and assumptions. It would cost us $5,000 for buying the software and the license one. Testing, this is done because there could be some malfunctioning in the code, and we need to keep refractioning and remanaging the code so that we don't get any bugs. I've decided to do at least like 4 testing sessions and prototypings. So for that cost, we would be having like $8,000, which is 10 so 10 hardware testing and 10 software testing, which are the prototypes, which are 4 prototypes. It would cost us $8,000. Marketing cost is not much because the apps, we don't usually have to market them in the Android and iOS web applications. So mostly it would be like an advertisement in other websites and also on the university web page for the students, and also some advertisement billboards in around some parts of the city where we could get most of the footwork. That would cost us like 7,500 USD. And the flexible accounts, this is $16,000. It would include like travel allowances for the team members, and lunches, food, and the furniture, renting in workplace, and also the equipment that would be miscellaneous equipment that we use for the development of an application. So this is an formula that I use to calculate these numbers. So next, getting into the project management plan. So the project title would be eBled application, and the date is 15 September. This is going to be the start date of the application, and the end release date would be 11th of December. So the characteristics and requirements of this project is like the templates and the tools. The application will allow the donors to enter their medical records, and will also allow so the application is basically like forms registration when the applicant or the user registered in this app, he would be able to log in into the app and find donors and recipients or donors information on the home page, and after that they could follow up with the donation date and donation location. The links, like we need to provide like the news tab weekly, so that we keep up with all the team members and the developers are kept up to date with the project and how is it going. It would be really important for the project manager to keep their employees to stay on track, so that they know everything what's going on, and will be removed by the end of the week. Security, uh, obviously, since this software could be prone to cyber hacking and everything, and since hospital and it includes hospital patient data and everything, that could be really risky for the patient identification and confidentiality. um, Search features, there will be a search box inside the application where they could find a particular donor, or find various number of donors in a particular region. Definitely there's going to be a database that stores all the uh, patient data and history and the medical records of the data, which where we are going to use a AWS server, which is Amazon Web Services. Even that's going to cost the project with some amount of dollars, and the programmers and training for the employees to use application, even for the users too. Since this is a new web application, it needs trainers and to get familiar with the user interface. Next, going to the acceptance criteria. User acceptance, usually patients could be little old fashioned, and this application is a new technology for them, and it would be really hard for them to use. To meet this goal, the application must have a strong user involvement and proper planning, and it also should be simple and clear, so that there's no misunderstanding. The chance of success are much greater if these all criteria are met. Um, these are deliverables which are related to the product, like there should be instructions for the user using project management tools. For this particular project, we will be using WBS Gantt charts and cost estimates to meet the success for this project, and the application design. The two designs are made for the user selection and to be suitable to relate the project's needs. The user requests features, the application design and promotions. So here are the requirements, like every project needs basic requirements, and these are all according till now. Hypothetically, they're all stated as completed, since the date of the project is already done and the target date is met. We need a programmer, trainer, a server, a eye tracker, a database, and laptops. So this is a prototype of the application that we were going to use, and this is a work breakdown structure. Getting into the work breakdown structure, I have created an Excel sheet from the project, and so this is the work breakdown structure, and it has all the steps, tasks, and phases. They're basically 5 phases: initiation, planning, executing, and monitoring, controlling, and closing, which is the PEM book method, and these are all processes. So the first task is to evaluation recommendation, which takes like 6 days. It starts from August 30th to September 4th. Developing the project charter and submitting a project charter. Then the project sponsors review project charter, and then it goes to the project charter is signed and approved. That will usually take like 14 to 15 days. Then after the initial stage of the project is done, the planning, which is very important for the project to be successful, we have to create a preliminary scope statements. The scope statement of this application would be like developing an application to help patients and people who are going undergoing surgeries to reach a blood on time, and there's no difficulty in finding a donor. Preparing the WBS and determining the tasks, durations, resources, and creating a Gantt chart. Sorry. After it's planned, execution phase includes a kickoff meeting that includes project manager, myself, a team member, designer, stakeholders, and the financial department at the university, the marketing team, and the staff, and minutes of meeting minutes are going to be recorded, and emails will be sent. So in this kickoff meeting, there's going to be like the templates and demonstrations and presentations of the application to develop that needs to be developed, which will verify and validate user requirements and everything. So after the kickoff meeting is done, the instructions are given to the designers and the team application developers to design an e-blood system, the templates and tools and the type of blood needed. Since this application needs and medical attention, we assigned a doctor who is a hematologist, who will also be compensated for his services, which is going to mean which was in the cost estimates. Instructions given to that and developing and testing phase of that application. When all the information is taken, the developers and designers are ready to set off to developing the app. And once everything is done, there'll be user testing and beta versions of the application sent out to get feedbacks from the real time users, which are the common people. After execution is done on November 9th, it's going to go live. And after it goes live in November, there should be a monitoring and controlling of the project management and progress report and a change request if there's any bugs, or if there's any change that needs to be to the code, or if there's any changing needs to be advertisement. There's to be it should be done on the same day as a same day or after the application has gone live. And finally, closing the lessons learned and the project presentation. So let's get back to the work breakdown structure, which is explained everything over here. I've created a flow chart to better explanation of the work breakdown structure. Here these all are the tasks which are present in the WBS, and this is a detailed work breakdown structure, and these are screenshots of the work breakdown structure. network diagram. So critical path, since here we can estimate the duration of the each task, how it's going to be happening. Rather than showing it in a project, MS project, I have created the screenshots and created into the flowchart so that we could have a better understanding and go through the network diagram. So the critical path is 5 days for evaluation recommendation. Developing a project chart is 2 days. Submitting project charter 1 day. It could take much longer if the stakeholders are very particular about the project. Review project charter and the project signed on the same day. Sorry. Creating a scope statement and preparing WBS, and this gets divided into this concludes the initiation phase and the execution phase. Kickoff meeting, location, going live, chain request, and lessons learned. Now the project cost management. Here we could say that since we mentioned in the project charter is 80,000 is a budget for the project, and there will be no benefits from the project or the application in the year 0. Maybe it could turn over in the year 1, and we are estimated to have the benefits of twice, which is $140,000. So our payback is predicted to be during the first year, and the net profit value is 151,938. So I've calculated this using the financial analysis formula by doing the earned value to planned value into the estimated value. So these are all the predecessors, duration, and everything. Earned value, so here is a graph showing the actual cost and earned value and planned value. Like earned value analysis report, this graph basically shows a cumulative planned value, cumulative cost, actual cost, and earned value. The breakpoint is a budget at completion, and our budget is less than $1 million, and the project has a probability to cost more than what we've expected. And earned value management in the project is very important because it helps to control the performance of the task by preparing the initial cost and risks. The earned value management below is below the project. The cost and schedules performance assessment of both the total project and its major parts. The earned value management is used to measure project performances, identifying the likely problems areas, and forecasting the cost and time requirement for the completing the project. So here I've taken the budget on the left, on the x-axis, and the y-axis is a period of the time from week 1 and week 12, and these are all the estimates divided into a table. And here we can see the metrics of the project performance, the cost variance, module performance index. And these are the formulas that I've used to estimate all the cost variance and standard deviations. Next, coming to the risk management, I've used the project matrix and SWOT analysis for more likely and impact. And here are the risks, which is the code. That code may go wrong and it could give bugs. Network, the server, the whole application is dependent on the servers, AWS servers. So if there's any problem with the servers, that could lead to problems in working of the code, basically leading to crashing of the application. That's more likely to be in the 2 out of 1 to 5, which is over here. And application performance is really important, which is likely to be 4, which has a highly impact on the risk of the application of the project to fail. Budget is also a main thing, since many of the projects which are related to the web applications, they doesn't really know how long the budget is going to take and how much it's going to cost for the project, since they could be like programmers not available, and programmers have a situation where they can't work, and there could be a delay in the production of the application. I have also prioritize and the responses of the risks. So if anything happens in these risks, what could be done in the response to it? Like if there's any code error and bad links, we need to mitigate with the risk by reviewing the code between time to time. So that is the testing and prototyping. After the code has been released, has gone live. Budget. So if there's any budget, we can always ask the stakeholders to increase, the financial department to increase the budget. If the programmers are not available, we could outsource, which is not really a high risk. That's why it's a medium priority. Application performance, application crashes. We could do the same thing like prototyping and testing it. And network, availability of network and connections. If there is disturbance in the internet, we could use a backup internet. So basically, that is more of it, of the application, the project, the risks. I believe that I've included all of sufficient so that the project could be a success. And also in our project, we have an integration management called SWOT analysis, which stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Our strength is that we have the university support and its financial department. They support us financially and intangibly. They also provide us with completed lab that contains all hardware and software supplies needed for, such as programmers, trainers, and laptops, servers, and other database systems. On the other hand, there are some weaknesses in our project. We had no financial nor accounting experience before this project, except for basic introductory financial knowledge. Also, we didn't have a marketing strategies to promote our application to the public, which needed more budget to promote it. The opportunities for our application, that we can convert it to a website, so that the users can be more than one option to choose. We can also expand the project to work on iOS and Android systems so that we can attract as many as users as we can. This application can develop to reach other countries in the future too. We can also differentiate the application to make it include donations for money, furniture, and personal properties. Um, the threats that might affect our project includes our application, which have the people's preferences. Built-in systems such as Apple's healthcare can pose a threat as well. Moreover, having a non-user-friendly application that donors will find hard to use can pose a major threat as well. Finally, although blood donation is not an industry for competition, as it falls under the charity sector, having our organization that provides better services can be a threat to our success. um, so we are willing to take all the weaknesses and threats into deep observation and find into turning them into opportunities. Maintaining our points of strength will also be our main focus. So that was it about the project portfolio and my project. So in the future, as a project manager, I would believe that this project would be a success and would develop a lot of awareness and connections. And that's it. My name is Dr. Manideep Thadikonda, signing off. Thank you very much.